Disclaimer, warning. This article contains my opinions, which may be upsetting to individuals and governments. If you are easily triggered because someone's opinion doesn't follow the government-approved narrative or demanded groupthink, do not read this article. The First Amendment, freedom of speech, evil. Evil doesn't require a knife. Evil doesn't require a gun. Evil has used everything from forks to commercial jets as weapons. And those are just the civilian, inanimate objects. Evil can never be outlawed because evil doesn't follow laws. Recently, a young woman was murdered on a public transit system because she was unfortunate enough to sit down in a seat in front of evil. Wednesday, a young father was killed because he was a brilliantly adept debater, willing to debate with anyone about anything, and evil couldn't tolerate freedom of speech and debate. This is the 24th anniversary of September 11th, 2001, and the 13th anniversary of September 11th, 2012, in Benghazi, Libya, the rarely mentioned and remembered other 9/11. Evil on steroids. People say crime is on the rise. I say evil is. You hear it every day in the voices of over-animated politicians and prosecutors knead in, feed in, and seed in evil for their re-elections to gain or maintain their self-illusion of power. Throughout this, one side is calling for more control over an inanimate object, which left to its own devices will just sit there and be all inanimate and stuff, while at the same time, they ask others to restrict their freedom of speech. A twofer, the First and Second Amendments. Those people want to pass more laws which are as useless as wet toilet paper. They do nothing to curb evil. The Ten Commandments didn't stop evil. What makes politicians think they can? If you don't like what someone says, and you can't or don't want to hold a civil discussion to defend your position, just walk away. No harm, no foul. Both of you get to go home without one of you going to prison. Have you ever been to jail or prison? I have. In my past profession, I visited county jails, local prisons, and Texas's death row to interview people. Personally, the accommodations are below my standard of living, and therefore I choose to avoid government-funded gated communities by not doing anything foolish or evil. I have never wished harm to come to anyone. That has a tendency to come back at you like a boomerang at warp speed. Now, I have wished people would retire from their current positions, but that's as far as I would go. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions. Defend yours with a solid, civil, nonviolent, well-informed argument. When once a republic is corrupted, there is no possibility of remedying any of the growing evils but by removing the corruption and restoring its lost principles. Every other correction is either useless or a new evil. In Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States,